Now I will add a few words unprepared. A country becomes really a soul only in consciously serving the intellectual life. And in the case of our Jewish people, it was really this endeavor which concerns the Jewish people as a whole. We would not be in existence today as a community of people without this continuous activity in learning and in thought and in literature.
This unique colour footage shows Einstein in his twilight years. It's May 1943 and Einstein is among friends in the garden of his home in Princeton. He poses awkwardly. The film seems to highlight a more human side of a man who was already by then a scientific icon. And among those that knew the real Einstein was 10-year-old Stephanie Asker. More than 60 years on, and we brought her back to the garden. Her memories of the day and the man are as vivid as ever.
The one thing I noticed was this tremendously twinkly eyes, I mean like Santa Claus. And, but at other times he had extremely sad eyes. He had a very sad look. They say the eyes are the window of the soul, and he had a very deep soul. He really did.
These pictures, released to the BBC by Getty Images, are from a time that Einstein felt tortured by the spread of fascism across Europe. The Nazis had killed his friends and relatives, and Einstein had recently urged President Roosevelt to build an atomic bomb, a decision he later said was his greatest mistake.
My last memory of him, it was our last visit. I was 18, and we were looking out over this lovely garden, and he just stood there and looked out, and he said, "One feels one does not deserve such beauty." In a lovely setting, anyone would appreciate it, but he took it to this other philosophical level or spiritual level. That's the kind of person he was, extremely humble and understood some of the secrets of life.
We should strive not to use violence in fighting for our cause, but by non-participation in anything you believe is evil.
We are concerned not merely with the technical problem of securing and maintaining peace, but also with the important task of education and enlightenment. Without such freedom, there would have been no Shakespeare, no Goethe, no Newton, no Faraday, no Pasteur, and no Lister. Science has provided the possibility of liberation for human beings from hard labor. When the ideals of humanity are war and conquest, those tools become as dangerous as a razor in the hands of a child of 3. We must not condemn man's inventiveness and patient conquest of the forces of nature because they are being used wrongly. The fate of humanity is entirely dependent upon its moral development.
The key to the atom's secrets was first given to the world in 1905, when the genius Albert Einstein defined the relation between all matter and energy and evolved his revolutionary theory of special relativity. Then, in 1919, Lord Rutherford confirmed Einstein's theory by smashing the nitrogen atom. By 1934, Italy's Enrico Fermi and France's Frederick Joliot had made substantial progress. Meanwhile, in America, scientists like Arthur H. Compton, Harold C. Urey, and Ernest O. Lawrence were carrying on intensive research. In 1939, Lisa Meitner, exiled from Germany, computed the results which could be obtained from splitting uranium. Dr. Pigram concentrated on research at Columbia University. Working under his supervision were Dr. Leo Szilard and Dr. Fermi, who were laying the groundwork for a chain reaction in uranium. Encouraged by their successful progress, Szilard discussed with Dr. Einstein in the summer of 1939 the results of their findings and stressed the urgent need for action by the U.S. government. Conscious of the disaster which would inevitably follow if Nazi Germany should be the first to succeed in releasing atomic energy, Dr. Einstein decided to write a personal letter to the president. The letter was immediately brought to the attention of the president. Recognizing the critical significance of Einstein's message, President Roosevelt signed an order appointing the director of the National Bureau of Standards, Dr. Lyman J. Briggs, as chairman of a special advisory committee on uranium. After only one meeting, the committee was able to report that an atomic bomb was a definite possibility.
The world's first atomic bomb was detonated on July 16, 1945, in the desert of New Mexico. A fireball with the explosive power of over 10,000 tons of dynamite, the bomb ushered in a new era of war. 3 weeks later, the United States dropped a bomb on Hiroshima, Japan, utterly and totally destroying the city. A few days after that, a second bomb brought the same fate to Nagasaki.